Jasmine Crowe, what inspired you to start Goodr?
I was inspired to start Goodr after spending about 5 years of my life feeding members of our homeless community. And I would do it every 2 weeks. A video from one of my pop-up restaurants went viral, and people were saying which restaurants donated the food, and the reality was none. I was going to countless grocery stores, farmers markets, getting all this food and then spending 15, 20 hours over the weekend cooking it, getting home, cleaning up. And I started thinking, like, why aren't businesses donating food? And I thought we could do better. And started Goodr.
And what was the biggest challenge of getting Goodr off the ground?
I would say the biggest challenge was probably fundraising. I didn't want to be a nonprofit. I believed I had a really good business case for what it is that we were building, and that there was a really clear value proposition for customers. And it was hard conveying that message to fundraise, to funds, and also just to people, like, oh, this sounds too nonprofity. But I built technology, I built a real business around it, and it was really tough.
And how did you get other people on board in terms of employees? How did you get other people to buy into your vision?
I think people just had to hear me talk about it. And then after that, people started coming in, and I started sitting down with them and really wanting to make sure that these people fit the culture, and that they were also different from me, because I'm very much a visionary, and I needed a lot of type A personalities that were going to sit down and make those to-do lists and be very methodical on how they attack things. Because I was like, hey, I want to be in India tomorrow, and they're like, hey, let's get out of Atlanta. And I think a lot of that is very needed, that balance. I looked for the balance.
So are you good about delegating authority? Because when you're the founder, you do everything, and then all of a sudden you realize I need to do different things now as the company grows bigger.
I think I've gotten a lot better. In the beginning, I was very much like wearing everything on my shoulders, like, because if it didn't work, it was going to be on me. But now I'm very good at delegating. Like, I'll see emails that'll come in, I'm forwarding to team members, follow up with this person, I think this might be a good idea, but I don't have to do it anymore. And I would spend hours just going through emails that would come in, and now I'm doing better.
And how did you get the word out about Goodr? And has it changed over the years?
Yeah, I mean, Goodr's still really new, so we just started in January of last year. The word really came through social media. It was literally just telling that story, showing pictures of the work I was doing, talking about the work I was doing, attending events, speaking at, the U.S. Chamber of Small Business Summit in Atlanta. People started hearing me, and it just was about getting on a stage and telling that story.
If there was something that you could do differently back when you first started Goodr, what would it be?
I would have probably tried to find top-tier tech talent from day one to really help me build out the technology that I had the vision for that I just couldn't do.
And then what are your growth plans? Are you going to stay in Atlanta? Are you going to move to other cities? What are you going to do?
Absolutely, we're scaling. Our goal is to be in 20 cities by the end of 2020. We're launching in an additional 2 cities by the end of this year. We'll be announcing those in a few weeks. And then our goal is to really hit it hard next year in 2020.
And what are the big challenges in terms of achieving your growth goals?
It's really replicating what you've done in one city in another city and getting that same level of buy-in. I think one of the great things about Goodr is that we have a lot of people that are messaging us from all over the country like, hey, we need this here. We would love to bring you to our city. That's a good thing. So now it's like we got to get there and still have those people cheering and championing us in that city.
Well, all right. Well, thanks a lot for talking about it.
Thanks so much. Have a good night.